I love it. Summer's here and we're extra chatty and we're loving the weather because now it's 80 and comfortable in summer-like conditions and not 98 and sunny and summer-like conditions, or 60 in Wisconsin summer-like conditions. We can't keep up with the weather. But, well, welcome to July, or goodness, where am I? Wishing away summer at this rate. June 26th, State of the Castle. So, as always, I'm Lindsay. I am your host for State of the Castle. Again, your executive director here at the community. And today we have a packed agenda, which is exciting, with many different presenters. And first, I'm going to welcome up your resident council president, Lynn.
And your resident council president prefers summers in the 60s, but something for everyone. Okay, I don't really have a whole lot to share with you guys today, but wanted to tell you that we had my first council meeting a couple weeks ago. Went pretty smoothly. People tried to keep me on track with Robert's Rules of Order, so tried. Some suggestions. If we get really hot weather, and even though you're not on the garden committee, if you see some plants that are just screaming for water, take a minute and give them a little water and let somebody on the garden committee know, because a lot of property out here, a lot of flowers may be screaming for help. I wanted to remind all of you, especially anybody who's new, all of our different committees, like lifestyle and art and all these committee meetings are open to anyone. If you're just curious, you want to go see what they're all about, you can go. You're also welcome to come to a council meeting, but in that case, you need to please let a council member let me know so that we'll expect you. And if there's something you'd like us to address as council, you need to please tell us beforehand so we'll put it on the agenda, okay? You're welcome to come. Also, Marilyn Walker's grandson created, you got your newsletters, right? And so you've heard about, what's her name here, I've lost it, Rhoda Recycle? Yeah. You've seen this posted, this cute little lady. Want to thank you guys for starting to be really very conscientious about, the green containers. I think these are a wonderful reminder. So Rhoda is out there watching. We don't bring them back. What else here? Here's my other notes. Let's see. The porch party that Joe and Terry are having, if you haven't gone, it's a lot of fun. The sign-up sheets are in the library, so please check those out. Want to suggest, I spoke with Lindsay before the council meeting about the fact that the locker room, the women's locker room down by the pool, is still kind of slippery, those floors. We do have a railing now to grab. Our suggestion, there's no perfect solution to a pool area floor. Our suggestion is you wear the swim shoes. At least gives you a little traction. It's not something we can mandate, but that's something that might help. Also, Barry and Margaret Barkley are working on another sculpture for our sculpture garden, so there will be two next to the, whatever he is, the soldier guy. There'll be another one. I think she's a naked dancing lady. I'm not sure. So anyway, if you have an idea or something you think would be working out there, that's the garden committee and working with the art committee. So please talk to somebody on those committees. It has to be weatherproof. It has to be tasteful. So, we'd like to see that sculpture area grow, but it's not just going to have any old little things stuck out there, okay? What else? I think that was really about it. Yeah, that's all I have, I think. Okay. Oof. Is that yours?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Lynn. And next up, we will invite Joe for an Alzheimer's campaign update.
Hi, everybody. Sandra Meyer and I are the resident representatives of the committee planning the fundraiser for Alzheimer's. Since we issued the invites and then changed things up, we want to make sure that you know what's coming. But first, a story. For the last 35 years, I have been somebody's primary caregiver. Most of those loved ones have suffered from some form of dementia. Alzheimer's is not just about Alzheimer's. They research, educate, look after programming and funds for finding a cure for all forms of dementia. The other day I was on a Zoom meeting with my writing group from Florida, and in the middle of offering comments on somebody's work, one of our members had a brain freeze. He absolutely could not recall the name of the person he was speaking to, a person he knows very well. We're all in the same age group, and trust me, while we laughed it off, it was nervous laughter. As we age, I'm not sure there is anything more chilling than the specter of memory loss. That's why several years ago, ECP chose to support the work of the Alzheimer's Association. To date, we have raised thousands of dollars to fund research and educational programs, mostly through small events such as the sale of pizza and baked potatoes and next week's walking tacos. Beginning in September, money raised from those smaller events will go to other charities such as Wounded Vets. This event that I'm talking about today is the very special focused campaign for raising funds for Alzheimer's. The invitation you received on your ledge caused a lot of chatter and raised a lot of questions. The committee took another look at the plan, and the benefit was revamped to answer your concerns while still promising a fun evening to remember. What's changed? Ticket prices are now $30, most of which will go to the Alzheimer's Association. Your ticket includes substantial appetizers and free drinks in the courtyard, along with live music and door prizes. The party will start at 4 p.m. Dinner will be served as usual, but in 1884. Pickup and delivery remain the same. You can bid on silent auction items whether or not you are attending the courtyard event. We've gathered items that include special services from various ECP departments, as well as generous donations from some of your fellow residents. Examples? How about the possibility of winning 75,000 frequent flyer miles on American Airlines? Even if you're not traveling anymore, you could use them as a gift for your children, your grandchildren, to come and visit you. Or maybe indoor parking for the winter would be more appealing. And that's just the start of the list. We're still collecting items for the auction. All monies raised through the auction go directly to the Alzheimer's Association. From clothing and toy drives to scholarships for employees to a little free library popular with our Murray Hill neighbors to standing on the corner with signs demanding changes in our government, we are a caring and involved community. This special event is yet another opportunity to make a difference, one that may hit close to home for each of us at some point, if it hasn't already. Tickets are always available by seeing Mike Grieger or Jen McEwen, but will be for sale at happy hours throughout the month of July. Are we selling them today? I don't know.
We are, right after.
Yes, right after. There'll be a table outside. You can pay for them with cash, credit, or checks made payable to East Castle Place, or you can charge the ticket amount to your monthly account. Questions regarding tax deductions should go to Mike. Stay tuned for more updates, including the full list of items for the silent auction, and we hope you'll plan to join us for an evening to remember.
Thank you, Joe. And
What's
next,
the date?
oh, I'm sorry, the date?
It's not the date on this, is it?
No, it is not. So the date for the Alzheimer's East Castle, A Night to Remember, is August 19th from 4 to 7 p.m. So August 19th.
What day of the week is
That is a Tuesday. So August 19th 4 to 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. And then, just to add, this pamphlet here, that is the Walk to End Alzheimer's info session, specifically is surrounding when the Alzheimer's Walk that's at the Summerfest ground is. So this can be a little keepsake for you. To remind you that on September 14th, the Alzheimer's Walk, but East Castle's event is, again, August 19th. And we'll have more, obviously, literature and reminders to come. Good question. And next, I'm going to invite Fran Hunter for a food collection project update.
Hi, everyone. How long has it been since you've wondered when your next meal is coming? Probably a long time ago, if ever. Well, unfortunately, here in Milwaukee, there are way too many people that have food insecurity, which is defined as access to healthy food. In fact, according to the Hunger Task Force, in Wisconsin, 10% face food insecurity in 1 out of 6 children. Well, the Concerned Citizens Group thought that there's something we could do to help with this problem in Milwaukee. So we have, thank you, Lynn, for fixing up the lovely box. That will be in the mailroom, and you are encouraged to donate some healthy food. Hunger Task Force is trying to get away from overly processed foods being donated, such as ramen noodles and the boxes of macaroni and cheese, because of the fact that they are high sodium and overly processed. So their suggestion is that you look for foods that are low sugar, low salt, high protein, such as peanut butter, beans, canned chicken or tuna, whole grains such as brown rice. Anyway, the emphasis is on healthy food donations. So we will be using this box for the summer months, and hopefully it will be filled up. And we thank you very much for helping us to do that. And then I'd also like to mention thank you to Richard for the collection of grocery bags. You started the outreach to the food pantries, and now Concerned Citizens would like to see us expand. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. And next up, I'm going to invite Bryce Bingham, our interim administrator, as well as Jillian Bautista, our administrator in training for the health center update.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Before I jump into Jillian's introduction, I do want to give you a quick short update what's going on in the Bradford Terrace area. As many of you know, we are regularly surveyed from the Department of Health Services to ensure that we're always providing the highest quality of care there on the 4th and 5th floor. With the Bradford Terrace, we are certified in several different areas, so being 1 and 2 being RCAC, 3rd floor being the CBRF, and then the 4th and 5th being the SNF, the health center area. The RCAC and the CBRF, they are surveyed every 2 years, with the SNF being annually. Our routine state survey window is opening up at the end of this month, or a month or so, beginning of August. This is a regular review that ensures that we uphold our highest quality of care and standards for the community. So we're not just getting ready for the visit, we're living in our higher standards every day and making sure that we are always survey ready. This is excellent care and the safe environment are always our main focus for our residents, including you all. Because of this review, you might notice our team being a little bit more watchful. So we're always looking for every little nook and cranny. We're carefully checking every small detail and making sure everything is just done just right. This means we're doing daily walkthroughs, including additional audits, internal audits, creating new auditing tools, and making sure that we're implementing those tools correctly. Plus, we've been having some helpful visits from our nurse consultant. Her name is Lori. She has provided some pretty good insights and ideas for us to always continually improve. All these extra efforts show our constant promise to give our residents, you all, and those that are from external sources, being our skilled residents, our family, and our staff, that our best quality of care is put in the most front forth and a peace of mind for all of you. So I just want to make sure that is kind of an update for us for the next month. I know it's kind of short, but it's very much important. I want to take this time also, we have a new face that's just to the right of me. Her name is Jillian Baptista. She is our Eau Claire student that's going to be here for the next 12 months. Probably now more looking like 11 months, as she is now 4 weeks in. She is here to qualify her 2,000 hours to become a licensed nursing home administrator, but I'm not going to be the best to speak upon her. I can give her the microphone to give her an introduction and kind of tell her what she's done the last 4 weeks. So, Jillian.
Thank you. So for a majority of my time here, I will undergo department rotations ranging from activities, admissions, nursing, housekeeping, laundry, maintenance, and for the past 3 weeks I have been with our Director of Social Services, Nicole. It's been a very insightful experience filled with lots and lots of learning. It's been a great experience being able to apply what I've learned in the classroom and seeing how it actually works in the real world, and I'm looking forward to my next rotation in admissions with Joe and Amy. So that's been my experience for the past 3 weeks. And
that kind of concludes the update from the Bradford Terrace area. I do want to introduce Eric Peterson, our Director of Facilities, up next.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I'll just jump into the questions first and then a few updates. First one, does maintenance clean off or wash, vacuum the porch boards and railings, metal bases surround? So regarding the decks, normally we don't. It's simply because a lot of that dust and debris usually comes from bird feeders. Not always, but that's usually where it formulates around. And being in the resident independent spaces, we kind of leave it to the residents to clean up. If you find that your deck is getting a great deal of bird seed and things like that from another neighbor, in which case you let us know and we can go speak to them about being a little bit more cleanly about their bird feeders and things like that. But in an instance where it's maybe really out of hand, give us a call, we can look at it, maybe pick it up. But moving on, a 4x4 barrier needed at the garage entry where soil washes in the drive. To give you context, this is out coming off of Prospect into the underground garage, just off to the right there. It seems I never really extended the concrete maybe out far enough, or whatever bushes were there are now causing more erosion when it rains. So we'll put something there to kind of block some of that dirt and washout. We do have plans we put some money in the budget to attend to that area next year, whether it be staggered land and stones and some new landscaping just to dress it up a little bit, or we may extend the concrete. But we'll do something on the interim so it's not washing into where you're driving. Can we get rubber door stops at all the doors rather than wooden ones? I hope it's not all the doors, because my inspector will be really rough on me. But no, the ones where I do see wood door stops, I can replace those with rubber for aesthetic reasons. The ones I'm aware of, just to cover that, is going into Lake Terrace. We're still working towards having electronic hold opens put there, so they were never meant to be permanent. It was just something that needed to be attended to after the project was complete. That way, those electronic hold opens, so you know what I'm saying, they're tied to the fire alarm system. So when the fire detectors on each side of the door would send smoke, it would release the magnets and those doors would close properly. The other area that they've been in is some of the garbage rooms, because those doors can be pretty heavy. Again, it's code compliant to make sure they're on closers because it's a hazardous space. But we've decided to kind of meet you in the middle somewhere, because I do realize it's tough to have the door stops because it's a problem for the inspectors. Could be a problem during a fire being able to get the door stop out. So what we've tried, we started in Lake Terrace, we're giving them a test run and we'll install them in the other rooms. It is basically a magnetic bracket that's mounted to the floor that grabs the bottom of the door and can hold it open. In the event of a fire, just give it a little tug and it'll close. But again, we're trying to find a happy medium that I can stay out of in trouble with the inspectors because they don't see a door stop because it's behind the door, and also helps you because those doors can be kind of heavy. We did try to decrease the pressure and speed on them as much as we could, but I think we're maxed out as low as we can go, and they still kind of sometimes aren't always the easiest. Last question. The rails that have recently been placed in the shower room do not provide safety that we had hoped for. The grab bars will be installed. I think Lynn touched on that a little bit too. We put the railings in there because we wanted it to be both safe but also aesthetically pleasing. Grab bars, at the time when I talked to Tyler about it, weren't exactly the route he wanted to go, but it doesn't mean I don't want to take a look at it. So whoever put the question in, feel free to give me a call, send me an email, and I can come look at it and maybe better understand exactly where that grab bar location needs to be. Again, I always try to keep an open mind to maybe taking a closer look at it. So. On to a few other updates. Lindsay did ask me to touch on installing a mirror in the locker room. I'll take care of that. Also, a mirror will be going in the fitness center. I just want to thank everyone for their patience as we work through the window washing process. It's kind of a big deal, just not only the window washing of them, but it's the screens, it's lubricating the windows, it's the probably 24 springs we found broken that have to be replaced. So Jordan and Michael are working to revisit those windows that we identified that either had a missing screen. Jordan's been coming back, I'm sure you've all seen that already. But then we're also coming back for those broken springs that we notated. If for some reason you feel that was overlooked, you're welcome to put a work order in and we will add it to our list. But we've seen both work orders and the ones we recorded as we went through because the window washer said they couldn't get them open. But thank you again for your patience as we work through that. They're still here this week, a little bit next week, because there's quite a few common areas still to touch. And then the residents that have reached out to me where you have stationary windows, trust me, those are high priority for me and the window washer to attend to. I will not forget them. Next visit, we come to visit you, is for our 6-month filter change out. So we do try to couple it with other things rather than just swapping out that filter, because that's a small portion of what the HVAC system needs. So this time of year is for the air conditioning check. So we'll swap the filter, but the technician also is going to go ahead and take a close look at your heating system. The whole objective there is, again, to get ahead of the problems. We're just trying to make more of our work preventative and less of it, reactionary to a failed, cooling device that's not working or an air conditioner that went out, any of those items. So we'll probably be scheduling that towards the latter end of July, because it did take till June to warm up. You kind of want it to be a little warmer because otherwise you're not getting proper readings from the system. So we tried a way, I just didn't think it was going to go from 60 to 90. There'd be something in between here, but I was wrong. So other than that, is there any questions? Okay, we'll move right along to Evan. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So just want to start off with I guess it's my monthly reminder that the July calendars are out. I can't believe it's July. I feel like we just had State of the Cat or Christmas at the Castle a few months ago, but it's already here. So just a few things I want to point out. We're having our resident photo headshot sessions on July 8th, so please, if you want to update your app photo or if you just want a personal photo, we're going to have a session for you guys to do that. So please sign up on the app if you want to be a part of that. And then I just want to thank Pat for one of our wonderful outings. She set up a tour for us at the Sherilyn Wilson Center, Performing Arts Center, I should say, in Brookfield. So, big thank you to her for that. From what I understand, they normally don't do public tours, so thank you so much, Pat. And a big thank you to the Lifestyle Committee as well for all your wonderful input.
What about that presentation you did?
Yeah,
Wonderful. Yeah.
it was great. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate that. And then just want to give a fitness coordinator update. So very happy to announce that we've hired a full-time fitness coordinator. Might be a little bit challenging in the beginning because his name is also Evan. So we'll figure out how to navigate that. So maybe he'll go by Evan B. His last name is Baumgartner. So Evan's going to be working us Monday through Friday. So he'll be full-time. He'll be teaching group classes as well as personal training. Evan comes with 7 years of experience in doing both of those, as well as a bachelor's degree in physical science from Carroll, where one of our interns, Kaya, is from. So very happy. He will be starting July 7th. So that first week, you might see him with a couple people. He might be with Ray some days. He might be with some of the interns. He might be with Will. But ultimately, as the summer goes on, he will take over some of those PT classes that Kaya may be teaching or Will may be teaching as they go back to school.
So will he be the one that we contact after he gets acclimated?
You will
Instead of contacting you?
anything fitness related will come to me. So I will be overseeing the fitness center directly. So any questions with the fitness center, please pass them on to me directly. Any questions with the fitness center? Wonderful. And then I just want to give an update on our mindful care session. So I know some of you attended some of our mindful care workshops. I guess there were some questions as far as, hey, is this appropriate for me? What is this about? What is it? So I just want to say it's open to everybody. So we have some sessions that are basically socially engaging activities that are based around those who may be starting some memory issues or are worried about some memory issues. However, it can be in a social engagement. You do not have to have memory issues to attend these sessions. You may look at the session like we did. We built memory boxes. If you want to build a memory box, it's a great way to engage with others. We hold them in Bradford Terrace. It's a great way to learn the great staff in Bradford Terrace that you may not see all the time. I know some of you are familiar with the staff in Bradford Terrace, but some of you are not. So it's a great way to get introduced to that area. But again, it does not mean that you're going to Bradford Terrace in the next year or the next 2 years. It could just be you're really interested in one of the activities. So I will be holding a session in August to kind of go over some more questions, answer anything that you may have in regards to the Mindful Care program. And then in the fall, we're looking at starting another session. Again, this is something we're rolling out that we want your input on, so would appreciate any feedback as we go along. So, yes, Leanne.
Is Will still going to be here in the fitness program?
Yes, so Will is going back to school full-time in like mid-August, I want to say, end of August. He will still be working here on Saturdays, however, when he goes back to school. But Will and Kaya and Ray, am I forgetting anybody? I don't think I am. We'll all be here now that Evan's here. So we'll have the full litany. Kaya or Kelsey, I forgot Kelsey, our intern from Marquette. So Kelsey and Will and Kaya's hours will diminish as they go back to school. Will is still an employee of East Castle, so he will be here on Saturdays after he goes back to school. You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, with that, I'll pass it on to Majarka.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will go over the questions first and then just have a couple little updates. The first question was, often the paper menu doesn't match the app and the dinner points do not match either. So how we put the menu on the app is Tim writes the menu, Tanya proofreads the menu, Tanya gives that menu to Majarka, and that exact same menu gets uploaded onto the app. So I'm not sure where there's differences. because what is being printed is being what's put on the app. There is a difference if you are ordering dinner on the app. If you're ordering the dinner special tonight on the app, no matter what we're having, the dinner price is always 16 points. It's a little perk to order online as you get that little bit of a discount. If you call in your order or come to the dining room, it's the menu price that is on there. Food portions in the green containers are usually sloppy. I will agree with that. We plate things very nice and pretty in the kitchen. That to-go container gets turned the slightest little bit to make it fit in the bag. We pick that bag up, put it in the bistro, or put it on a cart that gets jostled around to your apartment, or you come and pick up that bag, and as you're walking, things move. So I agree, it probably does look sloppy, but we try our hardest to make it not look sloppy. So I'm going to just say, if you don't like how it looks, come on out of the dining room. Bread used in sandwiches is frequently stale. We have bread delivered 5 days a week here. So if you do have a piece of bread that is stale in your sandwich, and you're dining in the dining room or in the 1884, just ask us, we can make a new one. We go through probably 8 or 9 loaves of bread a day, so there's not usually a lot of bread sitting around that was open today. If it's open today, it's usually used today, and it doesn't really sit there. But of course, things happen, so just ask us, and we'll gladly get you something different. A couple little updates. Next week, Friday, is the 4th of July, so there is no continental breakfast because it's a holiday. And then we will have the 4th of July buffet from 11:30 till 1 in the Gilman. No dinner service that evening. Green containers. We're getting better, but if you have green containers and you're getting takeout, if you can try to get them back to us for the next day. So if you're ordering dinner tonight, if you can bring down those containers tomorrow. When we started the green container program, we ordered enough containers to have 3 days worth of meals, knowing that maybe I wouldn't get that container back today, that you get it to me 2 or 3 days from now. We are now to the point where when we're starting dinner to-goes, we will be checking the green container return to see if there's anything that we can get washed to put food in it for dinner that night. So the sooner you can get them back, the better. We don't want to have to go back to charging residents points for things. The Green Committee and I will meet again next week, and I'll kind of give them an update, and then I'll have another update in July where we're at with that.
So are they just disappearing?
They're just disappearing. Last time we had the green containers, before I started here, we really think the system that was put in place of multiple departments picking them up caused them to get thrown away. I do not think they're getting thrown away. I just think people are holding on to them longer than we anticipated. Or maybe you're having some leftovers and you're ordering 4 cups of soup and you're keeping those 4 cups of soup in your fridge until you eat them. So if you want to keep something, if you can put it in a different container and get it back to us, that would be fantastic. That is all I have, unless anybody has questions for me. Yes, Lynn?
I don't know anything right now about the cost of eggs, but any idea when we might have hard-boiled eggs again?
So we have ordered hard-boiled eggs for delivery tomorrow. That did not come in on Monday or Tuesday or Thursday's truck. Right now, hard-boiled eggs are also telling us that we are not getting them tomorrow. So until there is a more stable supply, we are going to keep the hard-boiled eggs out of the bistro. Also, just a little, if we are getting our eggs from Cisco, we are locked in at a contracted price. We have not been able to be getting our eggs from Cisco recently. We've had to go to different purveyors. And instead of paying about $40 a case, we're paying $160 a case. So we're really trying our hardest. So for us to save a little bit and not put them in the bistro, we're going to probably, I would say, through the end of summer at least. Any other questions? Yes, Mrs. Hill.
Could you remind people that the green containers are not always green?
Correct. When I had to order some more green containers, I had to order the white ones. So I didn't want to order the white ones because they are going to show the wear and tear a lot more than the green containers. So The last batch I ordered was white, so if you have white or green containers, please return them as quickly as you can. Anything else at all? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Majorca. You know, I was struck waiting for my turn to talk how, East Castle Place is a lot like a church. We fill up the back pews first, and the latecomers had to sit in the front. I do want you to know, as a result of that, the ushers will be taking the collection up, starting in the back first and coming to the front. So that's what happens when you come first. You're the first ones to get hit. There's several things that people asked me to talk about today. First of all, one of the issues was, what is, with the Alzheimer's fundraiser that we're doing now, what of your fee to attend constitutes a charitable contribution? If you participate in the silent auction, is any of that a charitable contribution? And I'd like to clarify some of that. 100% of your $30 fee is going to be going to the Alzheimer's Association. As a result of that, your $30 fee constitutes a charitable contribution. You will receive verification from from me in January when you get your tax letters. It'll be included with whatever else you contributed to this year. A lot of you have also given, in addition to the $30, you've given, 50 or 100, and you've said, the extra money can go to Alzheimer's. The entire amount constitutes a charitable contribution. Some of you have even used a qualified charitable distribution for that, and I'm very grateful for that. I cannot say that, however, for the silent auction. You receive something for what you paid to participate in the silent auction. The gift that you were given by bidding means you got something for your contribution. That does not constitute a charitable contribution. So if you pay $30 to attend and then you pay $200 on an auction item, your charitable contribution is that $30 that you paid to attend. I mean, there's a loophole in this, that if you pay $200 for an item and you and I look at it and we can document that what you paid $200 for was only worth $50. In theory, I could increase your contribution by $150. That's really complicated, and I'm not sure we're able to document that. So we're going to stick with your attendance fees and any contribution you make in addition to your attendance fees, and that constitutes a charitable contribution. I want to give you an update on the scholarships right now. The Treasure Chest Scholarship window of application really doesn't even begin until July 1st, so next week. In spite of that, 9 employee scholars have already taken out applications. I think this is going to be a very, very good year for us in terms of student employees realizing that this resource is there for them. And thankfully, we're having a tremendous year raising money. This is the most money we've ever raised. We have in excess of $25,000. The committee that will distribute those funds really has a great deal of latitude. They might issue all of it, they might issue a portion of it. So I'm not saying that $25,000 will be distributed, but we have that much available to us. So people that apply, if they are eligible and the application is deemed worthy, will receive a significant scholarship this year. And I'm grateful to all of you that have played a significant role in that. The volunteers, the people who donated, the people who shop. All of it, all of you make those contributions possible. I wanted to give you an update on the Employee Appreciation Fund. Normally at this time of year, we have about $7,000 because of the monthly givers. Many of your neighbors sign monthly contracts, and every month a portion is added to your monthly fee. This year, we have an excess of $18,000 towards the Employee Appreciation Fund. I know you're all saying, boy, that Mike, he's really good, right? Nah, that's not it. More of your neighbors have really caught on to the benefit of donating to charity through a qualified distribution on your IRA. The key to that is you don't have to do that at a specific time of year. If you have a required minimum distribution from your IRA, you can do a qualified charitable distribution at any time during the year. And as a result of that, this year we've had 7 of your neighbors that have chosen to do that. We've already gotten those funds in hand, and that's one of the reasons why the fund is much larger than it always is. If any of you have an IRA and you want to know how that IRA can help you in your charitable giving, come and see me. I'd love to show you how it's not only a benefit for a charity of your choice, but it's a benefit for you as well. You don't end up paying taxes on that drawdown, yes?
Right, there is no tax break on the money you give you out of your qualified.
There's no tax charged to it.
No, if I give you $1,000 from my qualified IRA, I get to deduct that
From the required minimum distribution.
Exactly, which I don't pay taxes on it,
Correct.
but I do not get a tax break on the charitable gift portion.
That is correct. That is correct.
You know, either way,
Right.
you don't pay taxes there, or you give it, you don't get a break.
The benefit, though, is if you would have been giving to a charity, you'd have probably done it through your checking account. And your checking account still has that $1,000 in it, because you chose to give through your IRA. That will come and see me. We can talk through a lot of these things. One-on-one, I have a lot more opportunity to do that. I also want to point out that this morning, in anticipation of my talk about the Alzheimer's Association, I went online. I wanted to sign up for the East Castle Place team this morning. I have 2 college degrees. I've been in nonprofit work for 45 years. I worked on the Alzheimer's Association campaign here at East Castle for the last 5 years. I couldn't do it. I could donate, I could start my own team, or I could write a testimonial to a loved one who had suffered from Alzheimer's, but I couldn't sign up to the East Castle Place Alzheimer's team. I had to go see Mia Long, and I said, please sign me up. Every one of you should do that as well. If you want to sign up for the East Castle Place team and you're having trouble doing that, go see Mia Long. She will help you through that. It's a simple process if you've done it before. One other comment, in the back, I see a young lady, Mary Harrington. Mary, will you raise your hand back there? Mary Harrington, raise your hand back there. Go ahead. Mary Harrington is the donor and the benefactor of the grand piano that you see in the back there. One of these weeks at our happy hour, we're going to have a celebration about that donation from Mary. That piano is 100 years old this year. It was a family in the family for a long, long time. We're grateful to Mary, and that piano is going to have a day to celebrate. Can I ask Can I answer any questions for anybody? Yes?
If I give you for the silent auction my chateau in France, I stay there for a week, and I only it's a rental property, I who have given you the chateau, can deduct that.
That is correct. The donor of silent auction prizes, if they can establish a value of that prize, that is tax deductible. And I'll be happy to walk anybody through that process as well.
And Mary as well.
I'm sorry, another question? No, yes.
You can't make a qualified distribution from your 401k, right? Only from an IRA to a charity.
From the RMD. If your 401k has an RMD, a required minimum distribution, you can do that.
You can do that.
Yes, correct. Yes.
But you can't do it from a SEP.
Correct. You cannot do it from a SEP, right. A simplified employee pension plan. Any other questions? Again, a lot of these things are best handled one-on-one. I could talk to you all day about QCDs from RMDs and IRAs with SEPs, but we'll dance to that later. It's better off one-on-one. All right, there we have it.
Thank you, Mike. Now, all I heard was chateau in France, so I'm listening. Well, that was a great update from everyone. Thank you. So I have one question and just one update, and then we'll open up the floor to any questions you all have today. The first one is, casual days are a bit too casual. Several visitors commented it looks unprofessional. A shirt with a collar or a fleece with ECP would at least look professional and feel casual. So we offer casual Fridays for our employees here as an employee benefit, and we have parameters surrounding those casual days that are definitely, I would say we do have guardrails on those because we don't allow hoodies, we don't allow graphic tees, sandals, ripped jeans, and many other items in order to still have an employee perk, because as much as everyone loves wearing their uniform, it is nice to show their little personality in their outfits as well too, while still remaining the East Castle Place brand. If there are specific instances, please let me know. I appreciate that feedback. Shoot me an email, give me a call, or just stop by my office if there's ever an occurrence. Myself and our director team, if there is ever an employee that is not meeting our East Castle employee dress code requirements, we do address that. And they are very well aware of what our expectations are with uniforms and casual Fridays. And then obviously we do have our occasional spirit days, and then we have our large spirit week that broadens the horizon, like mismatch day this year. Hopefully this isn't in regards to that day because that was a fun day, but little things like that I know you all are usually made aware of. We can also make sure that's posted on Touchtown so that you're not confused perhaps why our staff are wearing 2 different shoes one day. No. That happens far and few between.
No.
And then last month in State of the Castle, there was a lot of chatter surrounding medication disposal for medications you still have in your apartment that are unused and no longer needed, and what can you do with those. There was a little bit of gray area of if we're giving them to Maureen or Lila or Famata, and we are still working through that, as again, it still is a gray area, but we do not want you just providing those to the front desk or to Maureen at that rate at this time. We have put on the July calendars that on July 31st, we will be offering transportation to the police station at UWM that is able to dispose of those unused medications. One of the questions, specifically, what if you're not able to go? So UWM police station is available at any time for you to bring unused medications. But again, if you are not able to transport or go on July 31st or Uber there, we will be coming up with a date of collection. And then in addition to that, just a more finite policy and procedure in order to have that cleared out for all independent living residents moving forward. Yes?
Do you mean that everybody here has to go to the police station instead of one person taking the stuff?
So the question was, do I mean everyone here needs to go to the police station rather than one person picking it up? So the outing on July 31st will be to have you bring your own medications. So technically, yes. What I don't have the exact details on, but what we will offer in July as well is where we would collect it. We just have to have, obviously, the right staff to collect it and make sure we have the right procedure, because we shouldn't have staff being, collecting certain level and classes of drugs just independently on their own. So just to have more procedure and guardrails surrounding that process, that we would be able to take that and then properly dispose it on your behalf. So more to come.
Lindsay, that's for independent living, how do you treat medications over in Bradford?
So the question was, how do we treat medications over in Bradford? So those medications that are no longer used or someone discharges are disposed of under the supervision of 2 licensed nurses. And the licensed nurses are working under the scope of a physician where we are not licensed nurses disposing of your independent drugs that were prescribed by a physician in the general community necessarily. So the Bradford Terrace, they do similar as probably our police stations do. It goes in, it's literally called drug bust, and it gets put in, and 2 people sign off on it to dispose of medications. Yes.
Leslie, if you go to CVS, they have, in at least the one on Hampton, a huge orange thing there that you can dump those prescriptions in.
Excellent. So the statement was, if you go to CVS, specifically the one on Hampton, I believe on occasion the one on Downer as well, they do also have a disposal bin for you to drop your medications in. So there are many areas, obviously CVS, Walgreens, other area police stations. We're just trying to find a common safe ground for us to provide you all a safe way at East Castle to take care of that. Sandra.
When Peter had stopped you with medication, they were given directly to me in a huge bag. They were not disposed of by the people over there.
So the question was, well, or more the statement was, when a resident was discharged or from the 3rd floor, the meds were given back to Sandra, the spouse. So when you are on floors, and this is getting in the weeds, 1, 2, and 3, technically you are the owner of your medication. So when that happens, you already paid for those through your insurance, and so they do get given back to you for your disposal technically. But then 4 and 5, because they are usually predominantly under Medicare A, those get disposed of, or they get sent back to the pharmacy for a credit.
I don't want to open up a can of worms, but I know there is, for people who can't afford drugs, there is a company that takes drugs back, kind of similar to what you were just talking about now, where they give it back to a pharmacy, and then they distribute it to people who can't afford them.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was an interesting thing. I didn't pursue it, but I just thought if somebody's interested in finding out about that, because that would be nice.
Boy, that sounds.
The statement was that there are organizations out there that do collect medications, and then it gets distributed to those who can't afford the medications. That specifically, those programs are run through similar to like a CVS or a Walgreens, because there's a large DEA liability of that, of how that gets distributed and so on. So we still would go the proper route. Where our medications go from there, that I do not know. So we would not be able to offer that, but there are obviously CVS, Walgreens, I believe their medication and their pharmacists, they can do as they are supposed, and wherever that ends up.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah.
Any other questions for me that are non-medication disposal related? Oh, yes.
What kind of receptacle do you put the medications in? Are these in the prescription bottles?
So you can keep them in the prescription bottle, or you can put them in a Ziploc bag.
So you can mix them up?
You can mix them up,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Good question. All right, what other questions do you have today? Yeah.
When does the budget come out for consideration?
Great question. When does the budget come out for consideration? So our budget program will come out in our August in August for the budget presentation. So we are underway with budgeting. Brad, our director of accounting and finance here, is underway, along with Life Care Services, myself, in supporting and looking at all of, obviously, our budgetary numbers, expenses, cost of eggs apparently, and so on. And then we go through an initial review process with Life Care Services and then a review process with our board of directors, in which ultimately, based on that feedback, we would get that approval to then provide you all with that lovely and well-attended budget presentation that will happen in August.